Let's get straight to the point. Number 8. Plastic grocery bags. Remember the glory days when the most difficult decision at the checkout register was paper or plastic? And the correct answer was both double-bagged, please. For decades, the flimsy vessel destined to hold your trash under the sink was complimentary. It was a cost of doing business, absorbed by the store. Then, someone decided that saving the planet was a great business model, provided the customer paid for it. Enter the bag tax. Around the late 2000s, cities and corporations started banning free plastic bags under the guise of environmental heroism. The science is solid. Polyethylene takes centuries to decompose, but the corporate execution was pure greed. Instead of just switching to biodegradable options on their own dime, stores realized they could turn an expense into a profit center. Now you stand at the self-checkout looking like a bewildered juggler, forced to pay 10 cents for a bag that rips if you look at it too aggressively, all while remembering the 500 reusable totes rotting in your trunk.
Number 7. Selecting your airline seat. Imagine paying hundreds of dollars for a flight only to realize the airline expects you to sit in a middle seat between two professional wrestlers unless you cough up an extra $40. Back in the day, choosing your seat was as free as the air you breathe. Well, the recycled pressurized air anyway. You'd book a ticket, look at the map, and pick a window or aisle like a civilized human being. Then, the low-cost carrier virus infected the industry. Around the early 2010s, legacy airlines watched budget carriers charge for preferred seating and realized they were leaving money on the tarmac. Scientifically speaking, the plane's center of gravity doesn't care if you're in 12A or 24F, yet airlines use complex revenue management systems, math-heavy algorithms designed to maximize yield, to trick you into thinking row 15 is premium because it's 3 inches closer to the exit. Now, if you want to sit next to your own spouse, you have to play a high-stakes game of financial chicken. It's a psychological masterclass in FOMO, where we pay a togetherness tax just to avoid being stranded in the back of the bus near the lavatories. Number 6. The smartphone power brick. Imagine dropping over $1,000 on a brand new top-of-the-line smartphone, opening the sleek minimalist box, and realizing your new gadget is basically a high-tech paperweight because the charger isn't included. Since the dawn of the cellular era, the wall wart was a fundamental right, as guaranteed as the battery itself. Then, 2020 happened. Apple decided to remove the power adapter from the iPhone 12 box, claiming it was a heroic move to reduce electronic waste and save the planet. Scientifically, e-waste is a massive issue. The world generates over 50 million metric tons of it annually. But the green logic starts to feel a bit brown when you realize they still sell those same bricks separately in their own plastic-heavy packaging. By shrinking the box, they could fit 70% more units on a shipping pallet, drastically cutting their logistics costs while making you pay 20 extra bucks for a necessity. It's the ultimate corporate finesse. They took away hardware you actually need, called it environmentalism, and watched their profit margins skyrocket while you scrambled to find a USB-C block that actually works.
Number 5. Online multiplayer subscriptions. Imagine buying a $500 console and a $70 game only to be told you can't actually play with your friends unless you pay a monthly rent to the corporate internet gods. Back in the day, if you had an Ethernet cable and a dream, you could hop onto Halo or Call of Duty for the low price of $0 a month. It was the digital Wild West, and the entry fee was just owning the hardware. Then, Microsoft looked at their server costs and realized gamers were a captive audience with open wallets. They introduced Xbox Live Gold, and suddenly your internet connection, which you already paid for, needed a secondary gatekeeper fee just to let you talk to strangers online. Scientifically, hosting massive servers does require huge amounts of electricity. Data centers consume about 1% of global energy. But when Sony and Nintendo saw the billions rolling in, they abandoned their free-to-play models faster than a speedrunner. Now, subscriptions are mandatory, turning your hobby into a perpetual bill for features already on the disk.
Number 4. Public restrooms. Imagine your bladder is a critical mass. You're sprinting toward a sanctuary of porcelain, and you're stopped dead by a coin slot on the stall door. It's the ultimate hostage situation where the kidnapper is your own anatomy. For ages, the relief station was a basic civic amenity, a standard part of urban infrastructure. Then, in the mid-20th century, companies like Nicolock decided that your biological needs were an untapped revenue stream. Scientifically, the average human bladder holds about 400 to 600 milliliters, and the urge to go is a neurological signal you can't exactly unsubscribe from. By the 1970s, there were over 50,000 paid toilets in the U.S. alone. It took a literal grassroots movement, the Committee to End Paid Toilets in America, to fight back against the dime-a-dump era. While they won most battles in the States, Europe still treats a quick bathroom break like a premium subscription service. You're essentially paying a hydration tax just to avoid a public catastrophe. It's a literal pay-to-play system for your kidneys, turning a human right into a nickel-and-dime scam. If you don't have the exact change, your kidneys are basically in collections.
Number 3. Heated seat subscriptions. Imagine dropping $50,000 on a brand new luxury car in the dead of winter, clicking the heated seat button, and getting a pop-up notification saying your trial has expired. For over a century, if a car had a feature, you bought it once and owned it forever. It was a physical relationship between man and machine. Then, around 2022, BMW looked at the software-as-a-service model and thought, what if we held their comfort hostage for a monthly fee? They started installing the actual heating coils in every car, adding weight and manufacturing costs, but locking them behind a digital paywall. Scientifically, resistive heating is simple physics, passing current through a wire to produce thermal energy via joule heating. It costs the company absolutely nothing once the car leaves the lot. Yet, they want $18 a month just to let those electrons flow. It's the ultimate corporate finesse, turning a physical object you already paid for into a recurring bill for your own backside.
Number 2. Social media verification. Imagine being a digital nobody on Monday and a verified public figure on Tuesday. Not because you won an Oscar or saved a cat from a tree, but because you handed a billionaire the price of a fancy burrito. For over a decade, the blue checkmark was a free security feature designed to prove you weren't an imposter. It was a tool for authenticity, especially for journalists and celebrities. Then, in 2022, the chief twit decided that status should be a subscription service. Suddenly, anyone with $8 and a functioning credit card could buy the appearance of importance. Scientifically, this taps into social identity theory, where humans crave in-group status to boost self-esteem. By commodifying the checkmark, the platform turned a verification tool into a vanity tax. Now, the internet is a chaotic sea of verified bots and trolls, making it impossible to tell a world leader from a guy screaming at a toaster in his basement. We're paying for a badge of trust that, ironically, made the entire platform untrustworthy. It's the ultimate pay-to-play scheme for digital clout, and we fell for it.
Number 1. Digital ticket convenience fees. Ever wonder why buying a concert ticket online feels like a digital mugging by a robot that won't even look you in the eye? Back in the day, you walked to a physical box office, handed over cash, and got a real ticket for the actual price printed on it. Then the internet simplified things. Enter the convenience fee. Companies like Ticketmaster realized they could charge you for the privilege of using your own printer, your own ink, and your own Wi-Fi. Scientifically speaking, sending a 100 kilobyte PDF via email consumes roughly 0.000001 kilowatt hours of energy, less power than it takes to blink, yet these fees often rival the cost of the seat itself. It is a masterclass in rent-seeking, where a middleman inserts themselves into a transaction just to demand a cut. You are essentially paying a technology tax for the convenience of the company not having to hire a human to talk to you.
They charge you extra to do all the work yourself while they stack digital gold. Now, a cheap night out requires a small loan just to cover the processing. It is the ultimate finesse for your wallet.
If you liked paying for stuff that used to be free, hit like and share the pain. Subscribe to Coolest Dude Explains. We post daily because life is expensive, but our content is still free, for now. Don't let the corporate middlemen win. Stay cool, and I'll catch you in the next one.